Hi guys, welcome back to Sacred Vedic Astrology. My name is Samantha and I feel truly so blessed and so grateful to be a professional Vedic sidereal astrologer. So today we're going to have a really interesting topic to discuss through the lens of Vedic astrology. We're going to talk about the differences between the Rahu Moon conjunction or the Rahu Moon aspect versus the Ketu Moon conjunction or the Ketu Moon aspect. So, when we are discussing this planetary energy of Rahu or Ketu getting tied up with the moon, it's important to note that Rahu and Ketu create special aspects, all right? I talk about this in pretty much all of my videos. If you guys have been watching my content, you know that I'm always discussing the special aspects of Rahu and Ketu. Why? Because it will change your entire Vedic astrological practice if you understand the special aspects that Rahu and Ketu create. Okay, so my first Vedic astrology teacher taught us to use the Rahu Ketu aspects. My second Vedic astrology teacher has been practicing for over, 40 years or so. And when he went to India, his teachers didn't use the special aspects of Rahu and Ketu. And he would always talk about how when he didn't use them, he was missing so much information. I really started my practice using those special aspects. So I feel lucky about that. And it is something that is so potent, it's so powerful. You never want to miss those special trine aspects that Rahu and Ketu cast to houses that are 5 houses and 9 houses over. It's really powerful. It's very powerful in chart analysis, okay? So this is going to apply to if someone has Rahu in the same sign as the moon, Ketu in the same sign as the moon, but also Rahu aspecting the moon by its 5th or 9th aspect, or Ketu aspecting the moon by its 5th or 9th aspect, best believe it. All right, so we're going to go into the different energies of Rahu with the moon versus Ketu with the moon. And this is going to be really important because we can take these meanings and apply it to Rahu and Ketu with personal planets in general and how there's just such a different manifestation of Rahu energy with personal planets versus Ketu energy with personal planets. Okay, so let us start with the Rahu Moon conjunction or the Rahu Moon aspect. So I have the Rahu Moon aspect in my personal Vedic chart, and it's something that is so accurate to my life story, my life experience, and again, that trine aspect is something we never want to miss in Vedic chart analysis. So let us start off with the meanings of Rahu, and then we'll take the meanings of the moon and we're going to bring them together, right? So, Rahu in Vedic astrology is the energy of obsessions, extremes, addictions, and too much energy, too much. Something I've discussed previously in videos is when I think about Rahu, I have this kind of mantra or this saying that I have about Rahu and Ketu, where I always tell myself, Rahu is too much, Ketu is not enough. Rahu is too much, Ketu is not enough energy, right? Because Rahu is the materialistic realm. It is that materialistic world that exists around us. So it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. It's obsessive. It's addictive. It's extreme. It can be too much energy when Rahu sits next to planets or sits in a certain house. It can definitely be powerful as well too. So you'll find a lot of people with strong Rahu energy. They're very powerful people, best believe it, because it is that material success. Okay, so we get Rahu, we get extremes, we get addictions, we get obsessions. Rahu can also connect to technology, and Rahu is also very much the energy of the materialistic world of desires, right? So then we take Manas, we take the moon, and the moon is our emotional nature, right? It's our emotions, it's the way that we feel about things, all right? The moon is also women, the women in our life, it's the mother. And when we get Rahu come together with the moon, it's bringing all of that Rahu sort of energy onto the moon. So someone can be prone to obsessive thinking, prone to addictions with Rahu on the moon, prone to a lot of this extreme in the emotions, right? So if we think about Rahu as well too, it's something that hasn't been so well developed in the previous lifetimes, right? Ketu is something that like, okay, we've been there, we've done that, we've already developed Ketu energy in the past lives, right? So Rahu is something that's unfamiliar and it's foreign. So when someone comes into this lifetime and they have Rahu with the moon, Rahu aspecting the moon, the ability to sort of control or understand the emotions isn't so natural to that person. So they might be prone to, extreme emotional reactions, unusual emotional reactions with Rahu Moon. They can have these like emotional instincts or emotional reactions that don't always make sense to other people because Rahu is not so well developed for the Rahu Moon energy, right? They might feel something so intensely and it can be this like extreme outburst of emotion, or perhaps someone just has a very unique sort of way of expressing their emotions or feeling their emotions, right? So if you think about Rahu as being too much, it's not so well developed, it's not so well mastered from the past lives, someone is coming into this lifetime and learning a lot about the moon, right? They're learning how to tap in with their emotions. They're learning how to healthily express their emotions. They're learning how to tap in with their intuition, right? They say that Rahu on the moon in the ancient texts, it says, Rahu Moon can reach these high mystical states. So what does that mean? It means that people with that Rahu Moon conjunction or aspect can really go to like higher places mystically, right? It's really easy to access intuition because Rahu is what we're trying to go towards, right? So like I have the Rahu Moon aspect, intuitive information comes to me very easily. It's something that I can always access if I need to because Rahu is also the energy we're trying to go towards in this lifetime, right? But also because it's so extreme and it's so much and it's so obsessive and it's so addictive, someone has to watch with that Rahu Moon energy that the insights and the intuition and the future projections are actually based in reality and they're not just, so out there that it's not grounded as well too. So a lot of Rahu Moon people, because they're so eccentric, because they're so forward moving, because they're so out there in their ideas and their ideologies and their perspectives and their emotions, and a lot of interesting creative energy can also come from Rahu Moon. There can also be times where they don't always seem so grounded or logical in the way that they view things to other people, right? There's a lot of this like eccentricity with Rahu on the moon. It's, I just thought of this idea at 2:00 in the morning. Let's create this invention. That's Rahu on the moon. Can't even tell you guys how many times my whole life I'll just wake up from a dream and be like, I've invented something. So Rahu is really eccentric and out of the box in that way, and it's coming onto the moon, which is like the mind, the subconscious, that emotional energy. So a lot of out of the box eccentric ideas with Rahu Moon. If you think about Rahu is the future, Ketu is the past. So Rahu Moon people are very interested in how do we move forward? What's the next thing? What's the next thing, right? That's a lot of that Rahu Moon energy. It's always trying to project something into the future. So if someone has a Rahu Moon conjunction or aspect, there can be a sense of them always wanting to tap into some future idea, some future projection. That's where that psychic energy comes from, right? Because Rahu is the future. And also, Rahu is power. Rahu is worldly power. So when Rahu goes onto the moon, someone can have very powerful ideas, powerful emotions, powerful creativity, powerful insights, right? And the mother can also be very Rahu-like because Rahu is going on to the planet that is a karaka or an indication of the mother. So the mother can be successful, the mother can be Rahu-like, the mother can be extreme, the mother can be very present in someone's life experience, the mother can be very Rahu, right? They're there, they have opinions, they share their opinions with that person, right? Obviously, we have to go into more in-depth analysis onto like the fourth house and the fourth house lord and aspects onto the fourth house and aspects onto the moon, of course, but you'll find that Rahu Moon aspect or Rahu in the fourth house can give a mother that's actually very powerful or very successful in what they have achieved in their lifetime as well too, right? So if you think about Rahu as very much there, very much present, it's too much. the mother's energy in someone's life can be too much, too present. They can have a lot of opinions that come from the mother. Maybe the mother's like, you should do this. What about this? How about this? It can be overbearing energy as well too, with Rahu and the moon coming together. Okay. So think about a Rahu moon person as a person who's out of the box, eccentric, interesting in their ideologies and ideas, very interesting. I always find Rahu people interesting to talk to. Maybe it's because I'm so Rahu. But whenever I meet other people that are Rahu, I'm like, this is like my dream come true. Like we get to talk about all these eccentric sort of out of the box things, and it's my favorite thing in the world. So I really love Rahu moon people actually. And the sort of downside, the negative side of all that Rahu energy going on to someone's moon is the emotions aren't going to be stagnant. The emotions aren't going to be so stable. They're not going to be so idle, right? Because Rahu is there. Rahu is the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs and the extremes and the obsessions and the addictions. So when we bring Rahu together with that moon energy, someone is not going to be just one note emotionally. There's going to be highs, lows, happiness, sadness. It can almost be a little bit, I don't want this to be perceived the wrong way, because I love like Western psychology for so many reasons. And I know a lot of people are going to, have an issue if I say this a certain way, but I do think that like Rahu moon energy can be a little bit manic. It can be a little bit up and down, high and low. And I don't mean manic as in we're, diagnosing someone through the lens of Vedic astrology, but if someone has Rahu on the moon, their emotions can be, oh my God, they're so happy. And then, oh my God, they're so low. And oh my God, it's so good. And then, oh my God, it's so bad, right? It's very up and down, a little bit manic in that way. Okay, and I don't want that to be misconstrued, even though I know it's probably going to be. So it is what it is. But, it can be a lot of that up and down, sort of prone to bouts of like manic feelings where things are so good and oh my God, the world is so beautiful and it's amazing, right? Because that's Rahu, it's extreme. And then there's other times where things are so bad and it's very low emotionally. So it's like this kind of roller coaster of energy when Rahu comes with the moon. All right, and what's interesting is it's so opposite from the Ketu moon, because Ketu is detachment. Ketu is mastery from the past lives. So we get a Rahu moon person over here. Let's look at it like this. Okay, we get a Rahu moon person over here. They're coming up with inventions. They're coming up with ideas all the time. They want to come up with wild ideas about the future and creativity, and can be a little bit manic, a little bit up and down, a little bit addictive, a little bit obsessive in their thoughts. And it's going to be all that Rahu sort of energy. It can be very fun to be around Rahu moon people. Then we get the Ketu moon person over here. And the Ketu moon person is, I don't want to fall so much to my whims of emotions. I want to stay more stable and more idle emotionally. Okay. So here's the Rahu moon person. They're off on this, creative adventure in their mind and coming up with cool, crazy ideas, and they're high and they're kind of low, and there's a little bit of that manic energy. And then there's the Ketu moon person over here who's like, whoa, that's a lot, right? Let me just kind of detach from the emotions. Let me detach a little bit from the extremes. Let me detach a little bit from the mother. Let me detach a little bit from all of that energy that's more up and down emotionally. So if you think about Ketu moon, Ketu is the energy of moksha, spiritual liberation, detachment, right? If we think about Rahu as too much, then we have to understand Ketu is the opposite. Ketu is not enough energy. So I speak about this a lot because I like to use personal examples from people like I've known in my life, and I've known a lot of people with Ketu moon conjunction that they find me a little bit wild in my energy because they're so one note emotionally. And the Ketu moon people that I have known, they're a little bit detached from their emotions, and you almost want to get more of an emotional reaction out of them because they feel so one note, stable. This is just how it is. It's very this way. Rahu's this, Ketu's this. And I hope I'm expressing this right with all my sort of Venus-Mars dramatics in this video, but Rahu's kind of, the emotions are high and they're low, and it's creative and it's a little bit manic sometimes. And then it's a little bit up and down. Ketu energy is like people I've met, people I've dated in the past, where they're just so stable and they're so one note emotionally. They don't like to go like this. They like to stay like this. And there's a lot of sort of detachment that Ketu Moon people can have from those extreme emotions, where they're sensitive, they're very intuitive. Ketu Moon people are some of the most psychic, intuitive people that you will meet, but it comes very naturally to them, and it's not something that they have to go out of their way to access. It's very easy because it's that Ketu energy. It's something they have already developed, already mastered in the past lives. Ketu Moon people are very psychic, very intuitive. Again, some of the most psychic people that I have ever met have been Ketu Moon people, and they just have these like really profound insights that are very grounded, and they're very practical, and they just come to that person with ease, where it's like a Rahu Moon person. I'm having this like image in my mind. The Rahu Moon person has to go to these like other places at times to find all the psychic insight, and it's a little bit more dramatic, it's a little bit more Rahu. And then the Ketu Moon person is, oh yeah, this is gonna happen, or oh yes, that's probably gonna happen like this. It's this more sound intuition that comes from a more familiar place, and it's a lot more grounded and stable within the intuitive insights, if that makes sense, because Ketu is so natural to someone. So these are the people that are very naturally intuitive, naturally psychic, but they don't like to go to those extremes with their intuition. And actually, a lot of times I've known people with Ketu Moon where they don't even have that much of an interest of tapping in with the spirituality or tapping in with the psychic in this lifetime, because they've been there, done that in the past lives. So if we think about Ketu, it's what we've already developed, what we've already mastered. And then the moon is the psychic, the intuitive, the emotional nature. So to them, it's a little bit like, oh yeah, I'm psychic. Oh yeah, I get all the insights. But also I've already done that in the past. So I don't feel this like burning desire or this obsession to go towards it in this lifetime. So it comes with a lot of ease. If we think about Ketu, think about it as something that's just maybe in our back pocket or something that we can just access with ease, right? Ketu is like, oh, okay, here's the psychic intuitive insight. Oh, let me pull it out. Okay, yeah, this is probably going to happen. It's like that. And then if we think about Rahu is like the burning desire. It's the extreme. It's the obsession. It's the thing that our soul is, oh my God, I need to go towards that. So then the Rahu with the moon is like, let me go towards the psychic. Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with the psychic and the intuitive and the intuition and all of that sort of stuff. It's different in that way. Rahu is like an energy where we actively go to seek something and we feel very drawn towards it in this like obsessive sort of way. Ketu is like something we just have in our back pocket and we just pull it out and oh, there it is. It's really easy for us to understand. All right. So Ketu Moon people can pull out those intuitions with ease and with this very grounded, calm manner about it. And you're like, how did you even know that? Where did that come from? And Ketu can also be, I remember Ernst Wilhelm, a really amazing Vedic astrologer, said that Ketu can be a little bit of a blind spot or a little bit of like a laziness that we have in this lifetime because it's so innate within us that we don't always try so hard with it. So again, people with that Ketu Moon, they're very naturally psychic, they're very naturally intuitive, great psychics, great mystics, but they don't always put all of their energy towards it because it's a little bit too easy for them, right? It's like a been there, done that sort of energy. But very psychic naturally. It just comes with ease. It comes with a natural sort of understanding of the intuition. I always remember I knew this guy who had a really strong Ketu Moon conjunction, and I'm the astrologer. I'm supposed to be the psychic over here. And he had a Ketu Moon conjunction, and he was like pulling out all these psychic insights with so much ease. And I'm like, excuse me, like, where is that coming from? And it was just so naturally within him because it's Ketu. It's natural. It comes with a lot of ease, even kiltered within their emotions. They don't love to go to extremes emotionally. And sometimes, depending on the rest of the chart, this can relate to the upbringing or to the mother. So sometimes when people have like a Ketu Moon aspect, their mother was kind of erratic emotionally, or the mother had emotional problems, right? Because Ketu is disconnection, it's strange, it's the void of the chart, and then the moon is the mother. So they can have a mother who is strange, eccentric, maybe not there, maybe not present emotionally or physically, or they can feel like they had to nurture their mother or take care of their mother in some way as well too. Sometimes this can give like drugs, alcohol, addictions to the mother, because Ketu is also drugs, alcohol, addictions, and it goes with the moon, which is the mother as well. Or there could have been some sense of like disconnection or loss from the mother, or some sort of experience where they had to go away from the mother at some point in their life as well too. Now, because Ketu is also this energy that we feel like there's a little bit of a void about, someone can also feel like they never are close enough with the mother. They want to get closer. There can also be a sense of a little bit of a void with the mother as well too. Rahu on the moon, other aspects of the chart are well placed. The mother's like, she's there, she's calling, she has her opinions. The mother's powerful, she's potent. So that's Rahu on the moon. Ketu Moon is like, where is she? Like, where is she at, right? And I've known many people with that Ketu Moon aspect, or Ketu in the 4th house, where the mother was gone, she was weird, she was strange, she was on drugs. Sometimes the mother is also very like intuitive or psychic in some regard as well too, because Ketu is also moksha, spirituality, spiritual liberation as well. So the Ketu Moon energy is an ease and a sort of groundedness within the intuition, within the emotions. Someone likes to stay pretty even kiltered. They don't want to go to those Rahu extremes. Of course, we have to look at the rest of the chart. If someone has Mars on their moon, that's different. Now someone is getting that Mars influence and they're more like activated in that Mars moon aspect, where perhaps their emotions can be more Mars, like more excitable. But if someone just has Ketu with the moon and there's not a lot of other aspects onto that moon, they like to stay withdrawn, they like to stay even kiltered, they like to stay pretty idle within the emotions, and they don't always go to all these different notes, right? If we think about the Rahu moon, it's like someone who's, it's high and it's low and it's up and it's down, and the thoughts can be a little obsessive, or like a Rahu Moon person could become really obsessed with something all of a sudden, and it's, oh, this is the next obsession, right? And then the Ketu Moon person is, I'm just going to do this one thing and have it be pretty balanced and have it be more centered, and it's more idle, it's more one note emotionally. Okay, so I do feel like Ketu Moon people have to learn to balance that sort of detachment that they can feel sometimes from their emotions. Sometimes they feel overly detached from the emotional nature as well too. And it's interesting because both Rahu Moon, Ketu Moon, there's going to be similarities in the sense that when the nodes are tied up with the moon, there's a lot of karma active around that planet. There's a lot that we are activating in that planetary energy. So both Rahu Moon, both Ketu Moon, they're both psychic, they're both intuitive, but it's in different ways, right? The Rahu Moon is going out of their way, and maybe they're going to do this crazy thing to open up the psychic abilities. That's more of the Rahu Moon person. The Ketu Moon person is just, oh yeah, like this thing is probably going to happen, and oh yeah, I had that psychic dream the other day, and oh, it's just easy for them to access it. It's more like that, right? The Rahu Moon might be out there trying to reach the high mystical states through the drugs and the alcohol. It's more of the Rahu Moon person. The Ketu Moon person is doing it in a more idle, Ketu-like way, right? If we think about Ketu versus Rahu, Ketu is kind of that energy of like a monk. It's someone who's more like that in their energy, detached, moksha, spiritual liberation. It's more of that energy. Rahu's more of the materialistic world and the obsessions and the addictions, and it's chasing something, and it's trying to go after something, right? So again, Ketu Moon people are some of the most psychic people I've ever met, and it always shocks me when they pop off with some like psychic insight that I'm like, where did that even come from? And it comes from the past life development of their psychic intuitive ability. All right, so another sort of insight about a Rahu Moon person versus a Ketu Moon person is I'm in my mind, I'm visualizing, and this is so Rahu Moon, but in my mind, I'm visualizing the differences of like people I know with Ketu Moon, people I know with Rahu Moon. People are very excitable. They love this sort of excited sort of energy. They want to feel excited. They want to feel passionate because that's Rahu. Rahu's extreme. It's a lot of energy, right? The Ketu Moon people I know, they kind of ground and calm the energy down a lot because Ketu, this is like an interesting image that just came to me right now, but I think of Ketu kind of watering something down, and this is giving me chills, so I feel like I'm meant to give this sort of visual metaphor, but if we think about Ketu is like watering something down and trying to cool it down. Okay, Rahu is like trying to add fire to whatever it is. Okay, this is so weird. I don't know where I'm channeling this from, but this is just coming to me right now. But Rahu is like adding fire onto something and wanting it to get bigger and it's more exciting. And that's like Rahu, let's fire this up. That's the Rahu energy. Ketu is let's put a bunch of water on that and try to calm that down and cool that energy down. Okay, Lord knows where that just came from, but I'm going to start using this in my Vedic astrological practice. So if Rahu is on the moon, it's like we're trying to fire up the emotions. We want to feel things more deeply. We want to be excited. We want to be passionate, right? So when I'm around like other Rahu Moon people, those are usually my friends or like people I've dated in the past where like we want things to be exciting. We want to have a lot of that passion, of like this lust for life more. And I think about Ketu Moon people that I've been around, and I love Ketu Moon people so much as well too. And when I'm around Ketu Moon people, it's like that coolant energy. It's almost like water, and they can really calm my energy down. They're very calm, very grounded, water-like in that energy, cooling down the energy, cooling down the emotions, bringing it to a sort of more low state. And then Rahu's trying to like fire up and heighten up all the energy. So that's really interesting. I've never thought of that sort of metaphor visually before. So yeah, that just came to me right now. Interesting. So it's like that. So I love Ketu Moon people. And then the Rahu Moon people really get me excited and get me like, oh, let's create and let's come up with these wild ideas. And this is eccentric and let's invent something. And that's like how I feel around Rahu Moon people. When I'm around Ketu Moon people, I'm like, okay, let's just chill. Let's ground the energy. It's different in that way. All right, so Rahu's always going to be extremes. It's always going to be the obsession. It's always going to be the addiction. It's always going to be, oh my God, my soul wants to go towards it, but it's not so stable. It's not so idle. It's very, woo, that's Rahu. Ketu is like this. That's the difference in energy. But both energies are going to show this importance, this karma around the moon, right? So maybe in either Rahu or Ketu Moon conjunctions, both people are gonna tap in with the psychic, but it's just gonna happen differently, right? Both people are gonna be learning about their emotional nature, but it's gonna happen differently. Both people are going to be very intuitive, but it's going to happen differently. Both people are going to have some sort of strong bond or some sort of karmic relationship with the mother, but it's going to happen differently, right? Because Rahu and Ketu are two opposite energies. Okay. So I find myself very drawn to both Rahu Moon people and Ketu Moon people because there's just a sense of that moon energy is activated, right? And I would say a lot of the times too, I find both Rahu Moon, Ketu Moon people to be very creative, very drawn into expressing themselves in some way. And again, it's different, right? The Ketu Moon person is going to express themselves in a more withdrawn, sort of idle sort of way. The Rahu Moon person is going to be like, let's do it in this wild Rahu sort of way, right? It's very, very different, very, very different. But they're kind of going, the way I see it is they're trying to learn the same things, but almost in opposing ways. I would say Rahu Moon people would do better with like technology and social media. Ketu Moon people might actually want to get away from social media and technology because Rahu is technology. And it's going to be like Rahu Moon is, okay, let's go towards it. Ketu Moon people might want to detach a little bit from technology, social media, because Ketu is that detachment or that void as well too. So that's actually something I've seen in my personal life, where I've known people with Ketu Moon and they're like trying to get off social media. They're trying to get off the grid. And then Rahu Moon people are like trying to get on the grid, trying to push society forward, push technology forward. Rahu Moon people can also be gifted with technology, with social media as well too. All right, so that is, insights and sort of perception that I have on the Rahu Moon versus the Ketu Moon. Again, I'm very drawn to both Rahu Moon people and Ketu Moon people all the time. I'm always meeting people with Rahu Moon or Ketu Moon. I have a lot of clients with Rahu on the Moon or Ketu on the Moon. And I think the reason for it is because, either way, whether it's Rahu or it's Ketu, there is this karmic energy around the moon, which is intuition, which is women, which is the mother, which is the psychic, which is the emotional nature. So I find both to be very interesting and have a lot of interesting insights about the subconscious and about the mind and how things work. And both Rahu Moon and Ketu Moon people I find to be very interesting, just different. Ketu's, we're watering down the energy. Let's ground the energy. Let's calm the energy. Let's not be so this. Let's be more this. And then the Rahu Moon people are like, let's put some fire on it. So it's interesting, really, really interesting. And a lot of people have that Rahu Moon or Ketu Moon aspect in Vedic astrology, best believe it. All right, so I hope this gave you guys some Rahu insight, some Rahu Moon insight into these energies when they come together, because it's a question I get all the time. For whatever reason, I get so many comments, so many people asking me, what is Ketu Moon like? What is Rahu Moon like? And I get why there's so many questions about it, because the thing about astrology is, the thing about Vedic astrology is it's always really, really hard. It's sort of your lifelong goal as an astrologer is to figure out what is Rahu going to do and what is Ketu going to do, because it's very erratic, right? If we think about the nodes, we think about Rahu, we think about Ketu, it's this energy that's very elusive and it's not so easy to understand, right? So for example, if someone goes into a Rahu Dasha or a Ketu Dasha, it's not always so easy to know, like, what is this Dasha going to do? It's not. It's really, really not, because the nodes are so unpredictable and there's so much karma around the nodal axis. So it's not so easy to know what it's going to do in the day-to-day world because it's so karmic by nature, right? Ask any Vedic astrologer that you know. They will tell you that Rahu Ketu is the hardest part of Vedic astrology to really grasp. Like, we're always trying to understand that, okay? But what I would say is there's always going to be a lot of karma and a lot of experiences that unfold around those planets that go with the nodes. Whether it's Ketu, whether it's Rahu, it's going to manifest differently, but there's going to be a lot of experiences, karma, that will unravel around those planets. All right, so let me know if you guys have the Rahu Moon or the Ketu Moon conjunction. Which one are you? I feel like you can tell through my content that I'm very Rahu. I have Rahu with my sun, I have Rahu on my moon. I'm a very Rahu sort of person, but I actually really love Ketu people as well too, because I find them to have this really nice sort of grounding, calming presence. They like to put that water onto things and calm it down and ground it. So I really enjoy Ketu energy as well too. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis into Rahu Moon, Ketu Moon energy, and hopefully it brought some different insights as well too, because I feel like I did research, in my early days of Vedic astrology, and I was like, what does Rahu on the moon mean? And I would get all these answers that I couldn't quite understand, because again, the nodes are really hard to grasp, but I do feel like Rahu is just activating, and it's up and it's down, and it's more addictive and it's more obsessive, and Ketu is more of that detached energy that's just there and easy for someone to access in a more sort of grounded sort of way. All right, I hope you guys have such a blessed day, and let me know some suggestions for future content as well too. I have a lot of ideas, a lot of charts I want to analyze, and I would love to hear more from you guys as well too. Okay, Sending all the love, sending all the best vibes, and we will talk soon. Bye, guys.